Breaking news. Ruth Kepinich, now the 45th Kenyan, I believe, or the 44th in the last 18 months to get caught for using PEDs. For those that don't know, Ruth Kepinich is the female world record holder for the marathon, running a 2:09, beating the previous record by 3 minutes at the Chicago 2024 marathon. Now, what did she take, why she took it, what this means for the sport, I'm going to tell you, and why I think people should use them even though it's not fair. So she used something called a diuretic. Now, she got caught using a diuretic, which I think since 2010, there's been 210 athletes that have been taking the same diuretic, which is stupid because obviously it shows up on blood tests. However, you take this because you're actually using copious amounts of PEDs. Now, what she took, we don't know. A PED could be anything from testosterone, Anavar, DECA, things that will up your performance. Diuretics will not do that, but diuretics will flush your system. So for example, when you take a PED, they have what's called a half-life. A half-life is when you inject it, how long it stays in your bloodstream until it gets flushed out. Now you take a diuretic to flush it out, and of course it's not going to show on the blood test. So if something can get flushed out in a week, right, just by not taking a diuretic, you take a diuretic and it's gone in 48 hours. So when you're a professional athlete and you're subjected to blood tests, obviously you take a diuretic to flush it out. So is this good for the sport? Of course it's good for the sport. It's exposing the sport because a lot of people are blinded by the fact that runners do not take PEDs. I wouldn't be surprised if Eliud Kipchoge at one point, yes, he is a Kenyan, took PEDs. Now, just because he's a Kenyan doesn't mean anything, but recently, tons of them are getting caught compared to the Russians, Americans, anyone like that. When you go to the Olympics, Marion Jones, for example, the track star, she was a female athlete, got caught for steroids. Tons of them get caught for PEDs, and it just doesn't get talked about because obviously, one, it ruins their career. Two, it kind of looks at a sport and says, wow, this is cheating. However, is it cheating? I don't think so. No. Is it fair? The answer is no, because not every athlete is using, so of course the enhanced ones will have an advantage, but a lot of them are using, and they're getting coached by people that know the ins with WADA, that know what drugs to take, that know how to regulate you. So yes, you're going to benefit from the drug, but also flush it out of your system so it will never show on a blood test. So I think the sport is obviously going to get a lot quicker and people are going to use a lot more drugs. I mean, this is a world record of 2:09. We're going to see people that are very ambitious, that are very competitive, want to break this. And the only way that they're probably going to do it is with PEDs. Now, yes, it's not fair. It's not a natural 2:09 marathon. But how do we regulate that? There's no way. Unless the division gets split into an enhanced division and a non-enhanced division, perfect. Then yes, you're going to see times in the enhanced division completely kill the runners that are not, enhanced. And you're going to see that within the field. The field is going to show those stats instantly. The other way that we could do it, which will never happen because of funding and obviously timing and whatever, test an athlete every single day. There's no drug under the sun that's going to be in and out within your system like that, even if you're taking a diuretic. But we can't do that. We don't have the funding. We don't have, obviously, the resources, and people will just not be able to keep up with that demand. I'm curious to what everyone thinks that's watching this video. Should they be able to use? Is it fair? For me, it's black and white. It's like saying, should a transgender man be able to run in the female category? The answer is no. But should people be able to use steroids? The answer is yes, because just because she got caught, tons of other athletes are using steroids. So if you want to see bigger, faster, stronger, if you want to compete, just be open about it. Drugs themselves are very dangerous. They can give you heart attacks, you could drop dead randomly, and they're risking their life, obviously. Is it smart? The answer is no, because if they get caught, you get stripped of titles and you're suspended, and that's your career, it's over. But tons of people are using them, so let them. It's going to, attract people to the sport. Somebody like myself that's competitive, I want to see a female go sub 205. I mean, that would be outstanding. But in order to get there, of course, there could be a 1 in a billion athlete. If not, you're going to have to use PEDs, right? They're in every single sport. Lance Armstrong, LeBron James potentially, Andy Pettit, those that gotten caught. It is very common in the community, and it is an actual business, especially within the Olympics, especially within the tour, and now the marathon community, which has been coming out about it. So that's my take, and I'm out of here.